Have you ever wondered why some men who are older, calm, and quietly confident, can walk into a room and instantly draw the attention of younger women? Not through money, not through looks, but through something deeper, a presence, an energy that feels rare, composed, and slightly dangerous. Because when it comes to attraction, it's never just about what you say. It's about how you make her feel while you say it. There's a strange psychology behind charm, the kind that doesn't shout but lingers. You've seen it before. The older man who laughs softly, makes one subtle joke, and suddenly the younger woman beside him is fully tuned in. Not because he's trying too hard, but because he isn't trying at all. That's the quiet paradox of magnetic flirting. And today, we're going to uncover it. The subtle tactics that younger women secretly respond to, often without even realizing why. These aren't tricks, they're signals, micro-behaviors that speak a language older men often don't know they're fluent in. By the end of this, you'll understand how to use those instincts, not to manipulate, but to connect with authenticity and confidence. And if you stay until the end, I'll share a single principle that ties it all together. The one thing that can transform every flirtation into genuine chemistry. Let's start with something deceptively simple: playful teasing. It's easy to misunderstand. People think teasing is about being witty or showing dominance, but real playful teasing, it's about emotional rhythm. It's about inviting her into a shared joke, not at her expense, but at life's. Because laughter is one of the fastest ways to lower walls. Picture this. You're sitting at a cafe, the server's taking forever, and you glance at her and say, with a warm smile, "Maybe they're roasting the beans one by one just for us." It's harmless, light, but it builds something invisible, a thread of comfort and spontaneity. That's the secret. Good teasing is never cruel. It's cooperative. You're creating a small world the two of you inhabit together, even if only for a few seconds. The best older men understand this instinctively. They don't force humor. They let it breathe. Because humor, in the right hands, isn't performance. It's presence. You can almost sense when she relaxes, when her shoulders drop slightly, when her eyes stay on yours a second longer. That's when you know the energy has shifted. But here's where many go wrong. They push the joke too far, trying to keep the fun going. The truth? The best moments end just before they peak. You let silence do the rest, because mystery is more seductive than comedy. And once you've built that rhythm, laughter, comfort, curiosity, the next step isn't louder, it's deeper. It's genuine compliments. Most men underestimate how powerful sincerity can be when used sparingly, especially from an older man. You see, younger women are constantly bombarded with shallow praise, endless compliments about looks, style, or body. They hear it every day, everywhere. But when you notice something different, her perspective, her intellect, her way of expressing herself, it stands out like a light in the noise. Imagine this. She's talking about her work, explaining a project she's passionate about, and instead of nodding vaguely or pivoting back to yourself, you say, "That's impressive. You really sound like someone who loves what she does." Simple, sincere. That's all it takes. Because it's not what you say, it's the intent behind it. You're not flattering her ego, you're recognizing her essence. And recognition is intoxicating. The deeper truth is, younger women aren't just attracted to age, they're drawn to understanding, to someone who listens without judgment, who speaks with presence instead of performance. That's the energy of an older man who knows himself, and knows that attention, when given thoughtfully, has more power than any line or gift. So remember, a genuine compliment is not decoration, it's communication, and it says, "I see you," not the image, you. But here's the thing. Connection doesn't only live in conversation, it thrives in silence too. Which brings us to the next layer, text, flirting. In this strange digital age, where entire relationships begin and end behind glowing screens, the art of texting has become its own language of intimacy. And while younger women grew up fluent in it, older men often feel out of place. unsure of tone, of timing, of what's too much. But here's the truth. Texting isn't about frequency. It's about flavor. A message at the right moment can carry more warmth than a dozen good morning texts. It's not about constant contact. It's about thoughtful interruption. A witty remark that references an inside joke. A simple, "I saw something that reminded me of you." Or even a well-placed emoji. Not overused, not random, but expressive, like a small wink through the digital noise. Because here's the psychological core. Communication isn't just about words. It's about rhythm and emotional tone. When you send a message that's alive, that shows attentiveness and timing, she doesn't just read it, she feels it. But restraint is everything. Too much and it turns into static. Too little and it fades into indifference. That's where emotional intelligence replaces game. You learn to listen, not just to her words, but to her pacing. Does she mirror your tone? Does she reply quickly or with detail? Every cue is a language in itself. Texting, when done with self-awareness, becomes something rare, the art of making someone smile without being seen. And for younger women, that's often the spark that builds anticipation. Because what happens when words give way to touch? When energy moves from language to chemistry? That's when the subtleties matter most. Subtle touches, the most underrated form of connection, and the most misused. A touch can say what sentences can't, but only if it's earned. Think of touch not as an act, but as a response. It's not something you initiate to prove attraction. It's something that emerges naturally when attraction already exists. A gentle tap on the arm when you share a laugh, a playful nudge during a shared moment, barely there, but deeply felt. Because the truth is, physical closeness reveals more than words ever could. It shows comfort, safety, trust. But, and this is crucial, the line between charm and discomfort is razor thin. Touch without awareness isn't confidence, it's carelessness. You'll know when it's right. She'll lean closer instead of away. Her eyes will soften instead of tighten. That's how the body speaks when it feels understood. A man who respects boundaries isn't less attractive. He's infinitely more. Because boundaries, when respected, create tension instead of killing it. A gentle touch, used with emotional intelligence, becomes electric. Not because of the contact, but because of the anticipation. Confidence. It's the silent magnetism that needs no introduction. You don't have to announce it, prove it, or explain it. Real confidence whispers in every movement you make. Because attraction, especially between an older man and a younger woman, isn't about chasing youth. It's about embodying presence. Think about the way you walk into a room. Do you fill it with frantic energy or calm gravity? Do your shoulders rise with tension or rest, easy and unbothered? You see, confident body language isn't about dominance. It's about ease. Standing tall without aggression. Maintaining eye contact without demand. Smiling softly because you mean it, not because you need approval. Every gesture communicates something. Every pause tells a story. And younger women, consciously or not, notice it, because energy doesn't lie. When you sit, don't shrink. Lean forward when listening. Be still when speaking. Stillness, when grounded in confidence, becomes magnetic. Because here's the hidden truth. Movement without purpose signals insecurity. But stillness, that's power contained. There's an unspoken law of attraction. People mirror the energy they feel safe in. When your body language radiates calm strength, the other person unconsciously aligns with it. She relaxes. Her tone softens. And for a moment, it feels like the rest of the world has faded away. But there's a trap here: arrogance. The difference between confidence and arrogance is empathy. Confidence connects. Arrogance competes. An arrogant man demands attention. A confident one earns it by giving presence. So, when you listen, really listen, without planning your next line or trying to impress, something remarkable happens. You make her feel seen. And in that moment, Your silence says more than any compliment could. Confidence is not loud. It's not about proving experience or asserting control. It's about knowing you've already earned your peace and letting that peace speak for you. But there's one final layer, one quiet secret that turns attraction into connection. It's not about your looks. It's not even about charm. It's about curiosity. Curiosity is the antidote to stagnation. It's the bridge between generations, ideas, and worlds. You see, the most compelling older men aren't the ones trying to act young. They're the ones who never stopped learning. Because curiosity, genuine curiosity, is youth that never fades. When you're curious about new things, about her interests, about the world that she lives in, you're showing adaptability. You're saying, I'm still alive inside. Ask questions not to impress her, but to understand her. Ask why she loves what she loves, what excites her, what frustrates her, what inspires her. You don't need to pretend to know everything. In fact, admitting you don't know something but want to, that's power. Because the truth is, curiosity is vulnerability disguised as confidence. It says, I'm not done growing. And that's what younger women find irresistible. Not your past, your openness to the present. Being informed doesn't mean following every trend or mimicking youth culture. It means being aware enough to relate. It means being humble enough to ask questions without fear of looking out of touch. A man who's still curious, who listens with genuine interest, doesn't need to chase relevance. He becomes relevant naturally. It's not the age difference that matters. It's the energy difference. A curious mind stays young even as the body ages. And that curiosity keeps conversations alive long after attraction begins. But beneath all these tactics, beneath the humor, the compliments, the texts, the touches, the confidence, there's something much deeper, something older than flirting itself. The truth behind what really drives younger women crazy isn't strategy, it's sincerity, because you can't fake energy, and you can't trick authenticity. Flirting, at its best, isn't about control. It's about discovery. It's about two people meeting in a moment of honesty. The irony is, the harder you try to be someone, the further you drift from connection. But when you stop performing, when you allow yourself to simply be, you become magnetic without effort. Younger women aren't drawn to age, they're drawn to assurance. They sense when a man has made peace with himself, when his confidence isn't performance, but peace, when he's not seeking validation, only connection. And that's the paradox that makes true flirtation timeless. It's never about tricks, it's about truth told beautifully. Every conversation, every spark of attraction, every laugh, they're all built on one silent question. Can I trust you with my vulnerability? Because real flirting isn't a game. It's an invitation to safety, to playfulness, to shared emotion. Younger women don't crave older men because of experience alone. They crave the feeling of being understood, without judgment. And that's something only men who have lived, loved, failed, and grown can offer. So when you speak, speak with calm. When you laugh, let it come from somewhere real. And when you flirt, let it be effortless, because you're not chasing connection. You're creating space for it. That's the art, not seduction, but understanding. So remember this: tease, but gently. Compliment, but sincerely. Text, but thoughtfully. Touch, but respectfully. Carry yourself with quiet confidence. And above all, stay curious about her, about the world, and about yourself. Because curiosity keeps the fire alive. And peace, true, unshakable peace, is the most attractive thing a man can ever wear. You don't need to be younger, you just need to be awake. And that is what truly drives younger women crazy.